Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Elise Reads and Speaks. Today I thought I would do a check-in for the Reindeer Readathon. So as I have mentioned before, I am on Team Snowflake and I am working really hard for Team Snowflake because I am a competitive person and I like to win. So let me take you through the challenges that I have already completed and I'll let you know which ones I have next. So I have completed Dasher. For Dasher, that was a one-word title and I read Pet by Kweke Imezi. I gave it 2 stars. I wasn't crazy about it. I thought that it dealt with some hard-hitting things, so I liked that aspect of it. But as far as the writing itself, it was a little choppy for me. I didn't like some of the text features because when they were signing, it was written in italics, but when they were like communicating telepathically, it was just, there was no quotations, there was no italics, and it was just not an enjoyable reading experience. But it did have some good things in there, so that was hard. Because I didn't enjoy reading it so much, that's why I had to give it 2 stars. But I felt like if it was just written in a better way, or maybe if I enjoyed like listening to the audiobook or something like that, maybe it would bump it up a little higher. Okay, anyway, I just went on a big long tangent. All right, the next challenge that I completed was Dancer, which is choosing a companion novel, and I read The Time-Traveling Fashionista, Marie Antoinette. I already sent that to my friend's daughter. Dude, I gave that one 4 stars. It's such a good time. Like, I don't know where these books were when I was a kid, you know, like it's about this girl that's younger, you know, it's middle grade, but it still reads like young and middle grade, and she's into vintage clothing and she visits a fashionista sale, and when she tries on a dress at the sale, it takes her back to a place in time. So the first one, she went back to the Titanic, and the second one that I had read, she was transported to the time of Marie Antoinette, and it was so good. Like, it's jam-packed full of history. Like, it made me want to learn more about that time period when I finished it. Like, if you are looking for something for your daughter, or maybe your friend has a daughter that's in like the 4th, 5th grade range, I highly recommend this series of books. So the third one that I read, The Time-Traveling Fashionista, Cleopatra, I used that for the prompt of Donner, which was the book with something hidden in it, because there's a lot of artwork in there. I gave the Cleopatra one 3 stars instead of 4, just because I highly enjoyed Titanic, then I was really into Marie Antoinette, and then when it got to Cleopatra, it was just a little muddled, and I felt like the time jumping from time periods, like, it was a little too much, a little too jumpy, and I wasn't as into it as the previous books, but still a good series. Like, man, apparently there's only 3. I wish she had went on because I would read them all. All right, so I said that I did Dasher, I did Dancer, I did Donner. Oh, the next one, Vixen. So originally I said that I was going to read Escaping 11 for this by Jerry Chisholm because it's, the other prompt was a strong female lead if you couldn't find something with a fox on the cover or the word fox in the title. I did end up reading Escaping 11 because it's one of the arcs that I had, but for this, I read Pax by Sarah Pennypacker because that is about a fox, and there's a fox on the cover, so I was able to get that one done. I gave this one 3 stars. It's a middle grade book, and I read it because Owen, my kid, is in 4th grade, and we just picked up a bunch of middle grade books that were recommended by Battle of the Books, if your state or child's school has that. So I figured there's, you know, books in there with good messages and whatnot, so we decided to read it together, and my mom also read it, and my brother's roommate also read it, just so we could be part of like Owen's book club. So it was kind of fun in that aspect. As far as the book itself, I mean, it was cute, and I did like some things in it as far as the connection between the boy and his fox, and I do think you got to see them on a journey where they grew. I just don't think it's a middle grade that I would pick up again, and it really didn't, you know, pack a punch for me. Okay, so the next prompt that I continued on with was Cupid. That is a book from a genre you love, and I chose Fairy Godmother's Ink for this one by Serena de Wilde, and I loved it. I loved it. I gave it 4 stars. It was just a good time. It was definitely a genre I love because I was so into it. It's like this story where fairy godmothers exist. It's a place called Ever After in Missouri, and they the fairy godmothers try to put their godchildren together. Godchildren are not related, okay? Not that kind of story. Okay, but they do have two godchildren that had dated earlier on in life, didn't work out, so they're putting them back together for a fake wedding to bring tourism to this town that they live in. Okay, we know what's gonna happen here, okay? The fake dating trope, it always works out in these books, and I'm so glad that it did. But that wasn't the only thing that I liked about this, although I do like that trope. I mean, there were real characters in here. You know, there was Sleeping Beauty and Maleficent and Red Riding Hood and Grandmother, and they all lived in this magical little town. It was adorable. And plus, like, the humor in it, oh my gosh, there are parts that made me laugh out loud. They refer to the main guy as the boy who missed. And that is all I'm gonna say, because I want you to pick this book up and read it and laugh as hard as I did. All right, moving on. We're doing good. I think there was one more there's two more prompts that I did. For Blitzen, the book that has some sort of struggle, I did read We Thought We Knew You by M. William Phelps, which was a true crime. So there's a struggle in there as they're trying to bring this person to justice. Oh man, that was good. Like, I don't read a lot of true crime, but I was in it and I felt it, and I just kept reading, and now I just want to read all the true crime books. So I would recommend that one if you're into like those Dateline 2020 specials about, you know, these nice people in a small town, and then, you know, they're not so nice because they're murderers. It is a good time. All right, the last prompt that I have completed is Rudolph. That was a book with a misfit character. I read Faychild by Jane Holly Meisner. And I had really high hopes for this one. I was hoping that I would love it because apparently the first book is going to be when she's 8. The second one is in her teenage years, and the third one is going to be when she's a young adult. And I just like the idea of that timeline. And fairies. I freaking love me some fairies. However, this one it didn't grab me. I thought the world building was weak. I didn't really care about the characters. I mean, there were some creative-ish type things in here, so I gave it 2 stars, but I was not a big fan of the world, which was a bummer. I really thought that was going to be a series for me, but it's okay. It's okay. So what do I have left? I need to read Prancer, a book with a map in it, which I had chosen The Jewel by Amy Ewing. I need to read Comment, a book that you find intimidating. I chose to reread The Poppy War for this one because I really want to eventually get to the 3rd book, but I want to read The Poppy War and The Dragon Republic before I go on to The Burning God. I am in the middle of The Poppy War right now, so hopefully I can crank that one out by the end of December. I also need to complete The Christmas Star, which I will put with Comet, because that is a book over 500 pages. I'd really like to get to the 2nd bonus prompt, which is Slaying It, and you can go back and complete any prompt that you want, and I'll just see what I feel like at that point. And I also want to do the buddy read, which is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. Okay, so I've got like 3-4-ish left, you know, because Christmas Star and Poppy War are connected. And I don't really have to do the buddy read because it doesn't count for anything, but I still want to because I want to read that book anyway. Okay, so thank you for tuning in to Elise Reads and Speaks. If you are on Team Snowflake, I'm really pushing hard for our team to win. I hope you're doing the same. If you're on another team, I hope you lose. Sorry. Okay, that's not very nice in the Christmas spirit, but that's okay. That's okay. It's all friendly, fun competition. All right, that's all I've got for you today, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Elise Reads and Speaks. I will catch you next time. Bye.